Richmond, Virginia, City Stadium, the site of tonight's USL clash between the Richmond Kickers and Charlotte Independence. Hi everybody, John Emmett along with Kickers legend Ronnie Pascal. Kickers 3-4-1, but tonight they try to put another brick in Fortress Richmond. They are unbeaten in their last 5 at home through all competitions. Meanwhile, the Charlotte Independence has been a mercurial group. They scored 8 goals in their first 2 games, then went a month goalless, but they have 6 in their last 2, and the Independents looking for their 3rd straight USL win here tonight in the first of 3 meetings between these 2 teams. And Ronnie, Charlotte was a hill too high for Richmond last season. They did not score a goal in 3 against the Independents.
Yeah, you know, the franchise from Charlotte, whether it was the Eagles previously and now the Independents, have always been a huge rivalry for the Kicker. So I know last year they got the better of Richmond every time. I think it's been a couple games since the Kickers have been able to score on them. But tonight is shaping up to be a really, really exciting game, and there's a lot of Richmond connections on the Charlotte roster,
including the man in goal for the Independents tonight, Andrew Dykstra. We'll get to him momentarily. The Kickers coming off a win their last time out, knocking off Penn FC, a league opponent, 3-2 here in a dramatic game. Wednesday night, the Kickers jumped out to a 2-0 lead. A brace for Luis Fernando, had a breakout night, but then it was Avio Cordova scoring a critical goal 7 minutes from time that gave the Kickers the win. Meanwhile, Andrew Dykstra, a man that Ronnie knows very well, between the sticks for Charlotte tonight.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to coach Andrew for 5 years at VCU. He redshirted his freshman year and then started for 4 years after that. Honestly, probably the most athletic goalkeeper I've ever had the opportunity to coach, and one of the most athletic kids I've ever seen play the position. Great work ethic. He's become a real true professional, which has been awesome to see. Has some experience in the MLS, has done really well when he's had the opportunity, and now he's getting a lot of experience playing in USL games.
On the subject of experience, Avio Cordova is up top for the Kickers, a man who has plenty, including time with the Cuban national side, and a guy with the ability to score coming off the bench, although tonight he will be in the 11, but a lot of the damage he's done throughout his career has been late in games off the bench.
Yeah, one of the priorities for the Kickers this offseason was finding some goal scorers, and Cordova fits that bill perfectly. He's a proven goal scorer, scored a ton of goals for the Charleston Battery, has a really cool story coming in from Cuba, and last Wednesday we saw him have the ability to put the ball in the back of the net.
For the Independents tonight with Dykstra in goal, 2 changes from the lineup that beat Toronto FC 2-1 at home last week. Jorge Herrera, a man to keep an eye on, the Colombian, a veteran of 18 professional seasons, but he's a pure goal scorer, already has 5 this year. Cordell Cato back in the side, missed the last 2 with a hamstring pull. A lot of MLS experience, 3 goals this season. Kevin George, another guy who's been MLS bound at points in his career, also back in the Charlotte lineup tonight, and they are very dynamic in the back. Lee Jung-soo scored 2 goals playing in the 2014 World Cup while playing as a fullback. Meanwhile, the Kickers, not surprisingly, 5 changes from the crew that played Wednesday in the Open Cup. Cordova gets a start. Brandon Eaton, keep an eye on him. He came in last 15 minutes Wednesday. It was only his 2nd ever appearance in 2 seasons with the Kickers, and he got after it, really opened some eyes. Oscar Umar's back in the lineup tonight after he served a Open Cup suspension for a red card.
Yeah, Brandon Eaton is another VCU grad, and he early on last season suffered an ACL injury. So I know he's been working extremely hard, and he was very excited to make his return to the pitch last Wednesday for the Kickers.
So it's Richmond against Charlotte, a classic 6-point Eastern Conference matchup, and we're back with the kickoff next on ESPN+.
Make time to escape to the coast and enjoy 60 miles of beautiful beaches, and let the sound of the ocean's tide take you to your happy place. Now's the perfect time to book your spring getaway to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Besides, you deserve it. Seize your moment now and let go, and unwind on Myrtle Beach Time.
Let go and unwind. on Myrtle Beach time.
They're back at City Stadium. John Emmett along with Ronnie Pascal. The Richmond Kickers, Charlotte Independence just about set for USL Soccer. Kickers have scored first in 6 of their last 7 games. Holding leads has been more of a challenge. The Independents looking for their first road win and first road goal of the season, but they've only played on the road twice thus far. Kickers are in the red. About 82 degrees at game time here at City Stadium. Overcast. There is a threat of thunderstorms in the forecast. Hoping we can dodge the thunder part of that and get this in without interruption. Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit SelectSportsAmerica.com. Receive free shipping on orders over $50. Kickers will touch it first to get this started. Brian Schreiber, who came off the bench in the final 30 minutes Wednesday of the Open Cup win, will get it started. Williams back for Shinoski, who again wears the captain's armband. ABL Cordova is trying to go to work, but Lee Jung-soo has another idea. George dropping it back for Vines. Now Watson, who's sort of the Braden Troyer of Charlotte. He's played in the midfield, he's played outside back, he's played center back. Charlotte's been a little banged up in the back this season, as Richmond was earlier. Here's Kevin George. And Martinez knocked away by Umar, and Martinez thought he was stepped on.
Right away, I'm noticing it's a little bit of a different formation for the Kickers as they have Oscar Umar playing at wide right and Brandon Eaton kind of tucked into that central midfield position next to Braden Troyer.
Kickers reshaping in the back here. Mikhail Williams, Trinidad and Tobago national. Travis Wara again in goal today, not in the 18 Wednesday, and he won't be in the 18 a couple of weeks hence when the Kickers tangle with the Philadelphia Union next round of the Open Cup. Reason is he's DC United property. He may be in their 18 for that one. Probing for Schreiber. Broken up by Watson. Cordell Cato. Charlotte very aggressive offensively. They'll push numbers forward. Layoff for Johnson. Here's Vasser. Johnson back for Guy Vasser, native of Switzerland. 9 different nations represented in the Charlotte starting 11 tonight. Martinez. Troyer wins that battle. Alex Lee. Schreiber heading forward. Cordova has tumbled, and Lee Jung-soo, who played in the last World Cup for South Korea. Now George. Troyer winning that ball from Jan Ekra, but committed a foul in doing so. Alex Martinez back for Watson. Joel Johnson has delivered some pretty good service at times this season. Herrera getting his first touch. Vasser back for George. Now Vines. Picked off by Cordovez. Layoff for Umar. Now Cordovez giving chase. Lee Jung-soo got a piece. Umar keeps it alive. He serves in. But Vines right there. Up to Martinez, headed away by Kobayose Wusu. Out for a Charlotte throw.
Really good counterattack right there by the Richmond Kickers, but Charlotte did a very good job of making sure they didn't get too many numbers forward and had people back just in case they had to deal with that.
Lee Cowlishaw told us yesterday, Charlotte's aggression offensively will open up opportunities in the counter. Saying this is Lee Jung-soo. There are some veterans in this lineup. Vassar in his 14th pro season. Joel Johnson, a 10-year pro. Some of these guys needed work permits when they turned pro. Johnson trying to get on the end of that. He serves it across, and it's off the side of the net. Martinez jumping up, and may have been an offside flag.
Yeah, I think it was out of bounds before that. I think it just kind of ran over the end line before he was able to get the cross in. Really good effort there by Johnson, but I think the ref said it kind of went out of bounds first.
Near side AR had the flag up. Sergei Demanchuk is our referee tonight. Ben Pilgrim, Ryan Graves, the assistants. Ace Castle is the fourth official. Cordovez taken away by Ekra. Lee Jung-soo. Now Javon Watson, Jamaican with considerable MLS experience. Cato. Ekra. Cato. Ekra on the overlap. Runs out of field. The 6th minute, no score.
So early on, the Independents are finding some good luck with overlapping runs down that right side to get in behind the kicker's defense.
They pushed that right side hard in their win over Toronto last week. A little bit of a different look with George and Cato in the lineup over there. But Joel Johnson was really the key. Cordovez up to get ahead on it. Watson battling with Shriver. Johnson giving aid. Lee Jung-soo. Now Sam Vines. Lineup filled with veterans. Vines is like the answer to an SAT question, what doesn't belong? He is 18, Colorado Rapids property, and with Charlotte from the Rapids Academy program.
Yeah, we're starting to see more and more of that now in the USL, is using it as kind of a developmental league for these younger kids who are coming in, and instead of going to college, they turn pro and are having opportunities to play and get valuable experience.
Well, there's a couple of guys out west, Los Dos, the Galaxy's team. That 15-year-old kid is going to be a star.
Yeah, he scored some remarkable goals already.
San Antonio rolled a 16-year-old out in their Open Cup win 2 weeks ago, who also, according to fans on their message board, was an impact guy. Haven't sat down and confirmed that yet, but he was in the lineup. Here's Vassar, who probably has 16-year-old cleats. George. Johnson for Cato. Broken up by Yearwood, playing against his former employers at his hometown club. George back for Watson. Now Vassar. Martinez. Eaton gets involved, finds Shriver, and he's hauled down by George.
That's a veteran foul right there. Could have been a yellow card. Ref decided to let it go since it was early on, but obvious foul, just trying to slow down the momentum.
If players had a vote, I think Shriver would have pulled out a yellow right there. Williams for the restart. We are scoreless early here from City Stadium, where the Kickers are 4-0-1 in their last 5 across all competitions. Williams probing ball. Gives Andrew Dykstra a chance to move around a little bit. Former VCU Ram, Richmond kicker, knocked around MLS some. Husky gets ahead to that, and here's Austin Yearwood, who very well. Troyer's pass picked off by Vassar. Now Ekra. Martinez. Johnson, his service can be dangerous. Martinez plays it back for Watson. Now Lee Jung-soo in his 17th professional season. Cordell Cato. Herrera, who hasn't had a lot of touches early, which is good if you're Richmond. Martinez. Now Vassar. Cato run over by Umar. Play continues.
The ref thought about it.
That would have been a tough one, but contact in the box. Kickers may have dodged one. Charlotte's first goal last week was on a penalty. There wasn't much doubt about that. It was a goalie tackle on a loose ball. Lee Jung-soo. Kickers haven't had much possession yet, and that was an area Coach Kalashaw addressed yesterday. Kickers have been below 50% in possession in all of their league games thus far. Herrera looking for Vassar. Shinosky with some help from Eaton broke that up, and Travis Laura clears. Watson was, he thought, stepped on. Long ball for Cato. Gathered comfortably by Wara. And he was fairly careful rolling it out right there. Wonder if he was watching what we saw this afternoon.
Yeah, that was one of the, I guess, more shocking goalkeeper errors you're going to see. And unfortunately happens in the world's biggest stage, but I don't know what Karius was thinking there. It's kind of a goalkeeping 101.
Distribution mistake leading to Real Madrid's opening goal in today's Champions League final. That will be probably the second most watched video on the planet in the next 24 hours. Of course, number one will be their second goal.
Yeah, Gareth Bale proved a point on that one.
Alex Lee for Richmond. Headed away by Lee Jung-soo, who had some contact with Umar, and the veteran Lee Jung-soo is slow to get back up. He's played a lot of his career in his native country, but also spent some time in the Middle East. Had a stretch with Al Sadd. Richmond got the restart. Williams played ahead. That was flipped away by Watson. And now the Kickers will attempt to reshape. 12th minute, scoreless. Kickers 4 points behind Charlotte in a crowded Eastern Conference race. Shriver went down, thought he was fouled. Vassar finds Ekra. Charlotte pushing forward. Layoff from Martinez. Herrera just missed. Jumping on the lead deflection.
That right there would have been a typical Jorge Herrera goal. He always seems to find himself in the right spot in front of goal like that. Scored a couple on me that way early on in his career.
The Independents, technically a 4-year-old franchise, when the Charlotte Eagles chose to go the PDL route. The current ownership bought the USL rights from the Eagles. Herrera represents 50% of the former Eagles on this Charlotte Independents roster. Only one other former Eagle on this club.
Yeah, and I know they've got ultimately goals to try to move up to MLS, and they just passed a big vote down there to renovate Memorial Stadium, which is one of their older stadiums. Great backdrop. The Eagles played there 1 year, overlooks downtown, and they're going to put millions of dollars into renovating that stadium to hopefully help lure MLS there.
They've already built 2 smaller stadiums. Oh, here's Ekra, and Charlotte strikes first. 14th minute. Ian Ekra from the Ivory Coast with his second goal of the season. A lightning quick counter
Yeah, it looked like Richmond's the one that got caught out on that one. Mikael Williams is the last guy back, trying to do what he can, but 2v1 situation. It's really well done by the Independents. There might be some questions asked of the kicker's defense on that one.
Terrific ball in for Ekra. Another of the veterans who came up in the Lyon Academy. His 16th career professional goal, and now the kickers have to chase the game. Haven't done much of that lately. They've scored the first goal in 6 of their last 7. Williams probing forward. That was knocked down by Watson. Johnson for Vassar, back to Johnson. That's picked off by Eaton. Now Yearwood finds Cordovez. Wide for Umar. Service in, headed away by Lee Jung-soo. Then further forward by Vassar for Cato. Herrera, the Colombian, much of his career in South America. Kai Vassar had a spell with Fulham. Also has played significant European football in his home country. Here's Vines. Martinez. Vines had to recover that pass. 1-0 Charlotte lead as we've played the first quarter of an hour. Johnson. Javon Watson. Picked off by Eaton. Finds Cordovez. Shriver. Trying to square it for Osei-Wusu. Eaton will have a go from distance.
We'll call that an ambitious effort, but that's better from Richmond. They actually got some possession in the attacking third, put a couple passes together, some good movement. Maybe Brendan Eaton could have made a better decision there, but you can't really fault him for being aggressive.
Now the kicker's trying to get a little high pressure going. George picks out Martinez. He had Cato making a strong run, but Williams there to maintain order. Now Yearwood. That'll go all the way back to Travis Wara. Jan Ekra, 151st USL game. Harrisburg City Islanders for a spell. Dykstra will restart for Charlotte. Lee Jung-soo. Watson. 160 Major League Soccer games. A lot of those with the FC Dallas. Mike Jeffries, the 4th-year head coach at Charlotte. Former head coach of the Dallas Burn. Eaton finds Osei-Wusu. Shanoski. Shriver. Nice touch there from Troyer. Shriver unable to get on the end of that, and Johnson controls. Minute, Charlotte enjoying a 1-0 lead. Vassar back to play. Lee Jung-soo. Picked off by Alex Lee. Umar back for Shanoski. Now Eaton. Troyer has to give chase. Cato got a piece of that, and Lee lets it trickle out for a Richmond throw. Osei-Wusu led the kickers in goals in preseason, and he scored one in the Open Cup, but still looking to open his USL account. Shriver. Yearwood. Service too far for Cordovez. Vines will see it out.
Even with that, he only had one target in the box. Cordovez was the only guy forward for Richmond. You know that Yearwood gets the ball out wide, loves to serve it in the box, and we need more. The kickers need more numbers moving forward to try to be in dangerous situations.
Travis Moore, Troyer in the middle of that, and now Ekra for Charlotte. Lays it off for Johnson. Cato. 20th minute. Charlotte enjoying their first road goal of the season in their third game away from home. They were supposed to be in Canada last week. Foster able to run away from Shriver. Shriver gets back in it, and Cato unable to handle an errant pass. The Toronto FC2 has lost a pair of home games due to the first 11 wanting to make sure that they play on a flawless pitch. So they were ordered by the big club to go on the road last week. Yearwood. Shanoski picks out Umar. Lee. Braden Troyer. Osei-Wusu. He was hauled down by the hair. I think we're going to get, well, maybe not. Well, we might see a card on that one because it looked like George had a hold of the little ponytail there.
Yeah, again, you know, he knew what he was doing. It was a veteran foul. He knew that Osei-Wusu had made it past him, and he kind of dragged him down. Could have been a yellow card. I think this referee's trying to keep the cards in his pocket early on in the game. But that was better by Richmond. It was the first real spell of possession that they've had where they put together 7, 8, 9 passes and got the ball in a dangerous situation.
Shriver will take, now he steps back. Service in from Lee, headed out by Vassar. Eaton gets a piece of it. Troyer chipping back in. Vassar runs it down. Martinez. He's back for Watson. Now Johnson. Ekra, the Charlotte goal scorer. For George, out to Lee Jung-soo. Now Vines. Bosser. Watson. Dykstra's ball, well touched by Shanoski. Osei-Wusu. Now Yearwood. Williams for Troyer. Out to Alex Lee. I think Cordovez got squirted up, got him on the hand. Select the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportsamerica.com. Receive free shipping on orders over $50.
It's a foul on Cordovez, trying to put some pressure on him in the back, trying to make something happen with some intensity and work rate.
Now Johnson for Charlotte. Back for Lee Jung-soo. Vassar. Pressured by Osei-Wusu. Lee Jung-soo. Headed by Troyer. Cordovez a decent turn. Finds Shriver. His service. Eaton tumbling in a scrap with Johnson. That will be a Richmond free kick.
Good work by Brandon Eaton right there to try to keep that ball alive. It was a good ball in the box by Shriver, and Eaton just outworked him to get himself in a good position and draw the foul.
Shriver and Yearwood over this one. Kickers looking for the equalizer here at the 24th minute. Eaton taking advantage of Open Cup minutes. Shriver back post service results in a goal kick. Eaton might not have had those minutes available had Oscar Umar not gotten into kind of a silly slap fight up in Reading.
Yeah, it's a good ball in there by Shriver. Just no one making that really far post run.
So Andrew Dykstra will restart. Ronnie mentioned his athleticism. He was an all-district linebacker in high school in Northern Virginia.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, he was actually being recruited by Virginia Tech to play football and decided that his passion was soccer and came to VCU and ended up having a tremendous career there for the Rams.
And Alex Lee back for Connor Shinosky.
Spent a couple summers playing for the Richmond Kickers future as well.
Chip headed down by Vines. Osewusu trying to win it back. Eaton steps in, finds Cordovez. Back for Eaton. For Shriver. Rolls it across. And Cordovez doubles it in one.
I think he's calling a handball.
No, you're right. They're calling that one back.
I was going to say that was really unfortunate for Andrew Dykstra there. He made a great first save on the first ball by Cordovez. It was unfortunately bounced back, hit him and went in, and it looks like the ref called a handball.
They have the goal waved off. Second straight match. The Kickers have had one waved off. Still it is 1-0 Charlotte. Martinez. Johnson pressing way up. Vassar. And his service will trickle out for a Richmond throw.
Yeah, it was a great ball across there by Brian Shriver, and picks his head up. Here we go. Picks his head up, knows exactly where he's putting it, plays it across to Cordovez. First shot, great first save. Comes back to Cordovez, and it must have hit him in the arm.
I think it got him in the left arm. That was the redirect.
But good signs by the Richmond Kickers. Putting some possession together. They're starting to look a little bit more comfortable.
Now Herrera and Williams giving chase. And Wara clears. Voss knocked that down. Now Vines, the 18-year-old. Too much weight there for Cato. Had an assist on the Ekra goal. Cato, the man who fed it in for Ekra, who finished in the 14th minute. Right now, that's the margin of difference. And a flag up for Richmond offside.
Yeah, 28 minutes in, it looks like the Kickers are still trying to figure out this new formation they're playing. Starting to get a little bit more comfortable on the ball, have some players playing in some different positions, and it's just taking some time to figure it out.
Luis Fernando, who scored 2 Wednesday, is in the 18 tonight. Dane Kelly is not. He will likely be in the United 18 for their Open Cup matchup against NCFC. Johnson, deflected by Lee. Osewusu wrestling with Vassar, who won it back for Cato. Lines leaves for Martinez. Now Ekra. Stout defending there from Braden Troyer. Troyer finds Eaton. Long ball for Shriver. And he gets on the end of it. broken up by Lee Jung-soo. We get a flag off for a Charlotte offside as Herrera came back from an offside position to play that ball. 1-0 Independence as we encroach on the half-an-hour mark. Osewusu ran over Herrera. Goes down from behind, but Williams kept it alive, but only as far as Johnson. Vassar. Schreiber getting involved. That's a Charlotte throw. Red Army trying to will a comeback here. Here's Kevin George. Looking for Vines. Kept that alive, but Umar thought he won a battle. Instead, he's whistled for a foul.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I'd have to see that one again. It looked like a pretty good tackle there by Umar to win the ball.
Hear exclusive stories directly from the USL's players on USLsoccer.com's From the Pitch, with written and video content that provides unfiltered access and a first-person look into the professional game and players' everyday lives. This amounts to a slightly shorter corner. Kai Vassar over the ball. Cordova's got the most of that, so now it will be a Charlotte corner. 32nd minute, Charlotte's goal scored by Ian Ekra in the 14th. They play the short corner, then service in. Wara punching out, and Shinovsky got a piece to deter Eaton. Now Cato. That'll be a goal kick. Quick restart here from the kickers. Yearwood finds Shriver. Shriver for Eaton. Broken up by Martinez. There's a little bit of rain starting to fall here.
Even on those counterattacks by Richmond, Brian Shriver's getting in behind down this left side. He looks up, and he's Cordovez in the middle with 4 blue shirts around him. So the kickers really need to do a better job of getting people forward in the box into dangerous spots.
33rd minute, kickers chasing the game as light rain starts to fall here at City Stadium. Headed forward by George, but only as far as Alex Lee. And then Lee probing the right for Shriver. Dykstra gets in the way of that. And Johnson unable to handle the distribution. Yearwood. Braden Troyer. Shinovsky. Alex Lee finds Shriver. Now Eaton. Cordovez in traffic. That was knocked down by Cato. Now George for Ekra. Martinez picked off by Umar. Lee for Troyer. Now Shriver. Umar unable to find an aerial device that would get him up for that one. George for Martinez. Back to the youngster Vines. Lee Jung-soo. Vosser. Now Cato. Giveaway there, picked off by Cordovez. Here's Kobe Osewusu. Now Eaton. Troyer. Yearwood. Osewusu. Troyer for Lee. Oscar Umar looking for Eaton, try to keep that alive. Martinez breaks it up for Ekra. George back for Vines. Watson. Now Joel Johnson can start to move it forward. Cato for Charlotte. Into the 36th minute of a 1-0 Independence lead. Here's Vines. George. Taken away by Lee. Shinosky. Eaton. Sharp pass handled smoothly by Williams. Now Yearwood is Richmond trying to get some build up. Troyer. Yearwood has to roll it back to Williams. Rain picking up a bit here. Lee unable to handle that. Richmond unable to break out there. Herrera. Vines back for George. George for Johnson. Now Cato. Back for Watson. Lee Jung-soo. Rain getting a bit more intense. Here's Cato. Johnson. Cato against Yearwood, the former Charlotte Independence defender. Watson forced to send it all the way back to Dykstra, and the Independence will reshape here.
Yeah, and Charlotte's going to be perfectly happy doing this for the rest of the half. They've got good composed possession, really, and not a dangerous spot.
Almost a giveaway there, but some solid work by Kevin George to send that ball away from Shriver. 38th minute, still 1-0. Ian Ekra, second goal of the season, 14th minute. Off service from Cordell Cato, who picked up his first assist of the year. That is the margin of difference. Wara for Umar. Broken up by Vosser. Vines has to play it back. One-time kicker Andrew Dykstra. Headed away by Shinosky. Troyer unable to control. Johnson for Ekra. Martinez pressing forward. And Martinez did run out of field. Wara was there as well. We get a sub here. Bilal Duckett in for Javon Watson in the 39th minute. So an early sub, and Duckett, one-time Vancouver draft pick, take over as a center back. 8-year pro with a smattering of MLS experience.
Yeah, it looks like Watson had some sort of a knock to his knee. He's getting checked out by the trainers right now. But it's good to be able to bring in a guy like Duckett. They've also got Henry Kalungi, another former kicker who could have gone in at center back as well.
Here's Lee Jung-soo. Ekra. A spirited wrestling match with Troyer, and then a quick restart for Vassar. Now Martinez. And Bilal Duckett will get his first touch for Cato. Martinez out for Vassar. Rain still falls. Vines. Vassar. Umar takes it away for Osei Wusu. Kickers haven't had much possession last several minutes. 41st minute. And the Kickers chasing a 1-0 deficit.
And Richmond just made a little change with the players on the field. They put Oscar Umar back in the middle, put Brandon Eaton out wide. Hopefully, I think, to try to give Umar some more possession. He's been pretty quiet tonight so far, and he's usually one of the more effective players for the Kickers.
Here's Lee. Long ball forward, looking for Schreiber, but that'll be handled by Dykstra. The USL's official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league 24/7. Follow @USL on Twitter. Eaton played in a wide midfield role when he came off the bench to make his season debut Wednesday night.
And defensively, the Kickers are almost playing a 5-3-2 where they have that wide guy on the right drop back and Alex Lee kind of tuck in the middle, almost with 3 center backs. So I think they might have been concerned with the Independents pushing their wide players forward so high. They figured they could kind of sit in and try to close that down and hit them on the counterattack.
Ekra for Herrera, back to Ekra. Eaton got a piece of that and sends it out of play. Kickers typically a 4-2-3-1 outfit, but they were at training yesterday very concerned with Charlotte's ability to get the ball wide with pace. Herrera unable to handle that. They were particularly impressed by Joel Johnson. Lee Kalashaw pointed out, his team did not have the normal week of preparation. They had to play Penn FC Wednesday in a game that they really kind of zeroed in on. So they crammed a lot into training yesterday.
Yeah, those Open Cup games, especially at that round, are very important because you get the opportunity to hopefully host an MLS team. So it was great they were able to get the win. Unfortunately, the draw in the Open Cup this year didn't really go their way, and they're on the road against the Union. But it was a very important game for them, and I think it made it even more important with the way the Open Cup went for them last year.
As you may guess, the rain is still falling. Umar fouling George, and it's a free kick for Charlotte. 43rd minute in a 1-0 Independence lead. Duckett the restart. Vines is up by Wara. Williams, George. Here's Johnson. Cato. Herrera. Back for Vassar. Now Ekra. Martinez. Ian Ekra, the Charlotte goal scorer. Herrera. Ekra. And Cato taps it home. Richmond dissected there, and Cato makes it 2-0.
It was a beautiful goal by the Independents. At first glance, I thought he was offsides, but the linesman was saying, no, we'll have to take a second look on the replay. But that's just a great, patient goal by the Independents. And he did look like he was offsides.
Now, Ekra and Cato have now combined on 2 goals tonight.
Great ball in there by Herrera in behind, and a very unselfish play to play it across to Cato. But honestly, it's probably deserved with the way the night's been going. Richmond is, it's been a pretty lackluster performance by them. Don't seem to have much energy. I don't know if the game on Wednesday night is starting to take effect a little bit, but Charlotte has clearly had the best possession. They've had the better chances. They've looked more patient, and they've looked more dangerous.
And Cato now with 4 goals this season as we get into first half stoppage time in a 2-0 Charlotte lead. Osewusu, Yearwood. Dykstra punches the service away, only as far as Cordovez. Martinez. And we get the halftime whistle. And 1 minute of extra time, as it turns out. And the Richmond Kickers will have some regrouping to do as they trail the Charlotte Independents 2-0 at halftime. Cordell Cato and Ian Ekra combining for a goal and an assist apiece. And Charlotte looking for their first road win of the season, in command at the break. We are back with halftime activity next on ESPN+.
Make time to escape to the coast and enjoy 60 miles of beautiful beaches and let the sound of the ocean's tide take you to your happy place. Now's the perfect time to book your spring getaway to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Besides, you deserve it. Seize your moment now and come, let go, and unwind on Myrtle Beach Time.
Let go and unwind on Myrtle Beach Time.
She works as a meteorologist at CBS 6, but Nikki D. Ray does all kinds of jobs. Roll call.
I'm Nikki D., the construction worker. I'm Nikki D., the insurance agent. I'm Nikki D., the doctor. I'm Nikki D., the fast food cook. I'm Nikki D., the referee. I'm Nikki D., the teacher. I'm Nikki D., the beekeeper. I'm Nikki D., the race car driver.
Nikki D. Can You Be Me? On CBS 6 this morning.
Then we are back at City Stadium in Richmond, Virginia. John Emmett along with Ronnie Pascal. At halftime, the Richmond Kickers in a hole. The Charlotte Independents looking for a 3rd straight win, doing all the damage offensively in the opening 45. Ian Ekra early from Cordell Cato, and then a really damaging goal from the Richmond perspective in the final minute of the regulation 45, scored by Cato on a outstanding feed from Ekra, and the Kickers now emphatically chasing the game. The opening goal, the finish by Ekra for his 2nd of the year off the feed by Cato.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk coming into the game about how Charlotte pushed numbers forward and they'd be vulnerable on the counterattack, and it was the exact opposite thing that happened for the first goal. Charlotte did a great job of getting numbers forward. Kickers got caught with one defender back, and a 2v1, that's typically what's going to happen.
It was Charlotte's first road goal of the season in their third match away from home. Kickers nearly answered as Shriver finding Cordovez, whose first shot was saved by Dykstra, but then the deflection came off the arm of Cordovez, and there was no goal on the play.
Yeah, it was another time that Brian Shriver got in a dangerous spot on the left side and played a great ball across to Cordovez, and a great save by Dykstra, and unfortunately the rebound hit the arm. And then we look at the second goal again. It was a really patient build-up by the Independents and a really good through ball by Jorge Herrera. Some shouts for offsides. Looked like it even on the replay from my viewpoint, but I wasn't down on the field.
And Cordell Cato was scoring his fourth goal of the campaign. And the Kickers find themselves chasing this one. Charlotte, 3 shots to the Kickers, 2 on target. And now the Kickers, Ronnie, it's kind of an uncomfortable position. You have a strong offensive club in Charlotte that will continue to push forward. Meanwhile, you can't hold anything back if you're Richmond.
No, at this point you have nothing to lose. You know, whether you lose a game 2-0 or 5-0, it really doesn't matter. So the Richmond, they need to make some subs. They need to bring some energy onto the field. You know, maybe you bring in someone like Luis Fernando, who scored 2 goals and is kind of hot right now, but they need to get something going forward. They need to push numbers forward. There were plenty of times where Brian Shriver got the ball, looked up in the box, and there was no red jerseys in there, maybe one with Cordovez. So we need them to come out with some energy. Don't know if they're going to change the formation and go back to the way they typically play. But look for Richmond to come out with some energy. They always say 2-0 is the worst lead to have in soccer, so we'll see what they can do.
Need some more of the ball. Right now it is Charlotte 2, Richmond 0 at halftime. More activity from Civic Stadium after this time out on the sword on ESPN+.
Don't miss out. It's the final days of Nissan Now. Hurry in for big savings on Rogue with ProPilot Assist that helps keep you centered in your lane. The technology of tomorrow, available today. This is your last chance to save on America's best-selling SUV and our entire lineup. It's time for an upgrade. Hurry in to Nissan Now. Exclusive offers and this event end April 2nd. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on 13 models or save up to $10,500 on select models.
Make time to escape to the coast and enjoy 60 miles of beautiful beaches and let the sound of the ocean's tide take you to your happy place. Now's the perfect time to book your spring getaway to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Besides, you deserve it. Seize your moment now and come, let go, and unwind on Myrtle Beach Time.
Let go and unwind on Myrtle Beach time.
If you ever wondered what 102 appearances for your club looks like documented, there it is in TIFO right there. Brad Ring.
a goal. What a strike from Los Dos. Efrain Alvarez has come into the game.
15-year-old.
Strikes it. Now Alvarez with a shot. And what a strike by Alvarez, who now has 6 goals in the last 3 matches.
Nowsby just outside the 18. Strikes it with his right foot. And right on cue. A huge goal.
And finds Langsdorff. He takes the shot and puts it in the back of the net. Langsdorff has a brace in the first half.
Takes hesitation step, and it's the save produced by Eric Dick.
Saved by Crapo.
Put numbers back. Will strike it and put it in the back of the net. Marvin Loria likely seals the 3 points with his first ever goal in USL.
This one comes into the center. There's your goal! The goal! The goal for OKC! The header by Callum Ross. The streak is over, and the Dreams have the lead 1-0. The power outage is no more.
She works as a meteorologist at CBS 6, but Nikki D. Ray does all kinds of jobs. Roll call.
I'm Nikki D, the construction worker. I'm Nikki D, the insurance agent. I'm Nikki D, the doctor. I'm Nikki D, the fast food cook. I'm Nikki D, the referee. I'm Nikki D, the teacher. I'm Nikki D, the beekeeper. I'm Nikki D, the race car driver.
Nikki D, Can You Be Me? On CBS 6 this morning.
And welcome back to City Stadium, Richmond, Virginia. John Emmett with Ronnie Pascal. Richmond Kickers trailing the Charlotte Independents 2-0 at halftime. The saves, neither club but with the save in the first half. Corner kicks 1-0 Charlotte. You look at the stats, Ronnie, the only thing that kind of really jumps out is the preponderance of fouls on the Kickers side. Like maybe they really were chasing the game in the opening 45.
Yeah, you know, it's pretty clear that Charlotte had a majority of the possession, and when you look at the halftime stats and the only category you're leading in is fouls, it's probably not a good sign for how the game's going. So pretty much what you'd expect after watching that first half, and like we spoke about, I would really, really expect to see the Kickers come out, make a couple changes, and come out with some energy and really go after the game.
Yeah, the Kickers did have several subs warming up at halftime, and they may use their 3 right at the start of the half. Halftime stats presented by Valpak. Valpak.com is your 24/7 source for nonstop savings on hundreds of Richmond area businesses and local restaurants. Don't have the famous blue envelope with you? Download the free Valpak app for even easier savings. Valpak.com. It's like printing money. Kickers right now would settle for printing a couple of goals. They've had no trouble scoring at home as of late, including 3 in the Open Cup win over Penn FC here Wednesday. They did have one called back in that game, as they did early in the first half here. This is the first of Luis Fernando's brace early in the Open Cup matchup Wednesday.
Yeah, you know, Luis, he did exactly what you'd hope he would do. He got an opportunity in the Open Cup, and he made the most of it. It was a really important game for Richmond. Like we spoke about, especially after the way it went last year, you always want to win this game so that you have an opportunity to host an MLS team. Unfortunately, they don't get that, but they are playing an MLS team, so it's just as good.
His second goal off service from Yudai Imura, giving the Kickers a 2-0 lead. Penn FC rallied back, but there's AVL Cordovas in the 83rd minute, putting Richmond ahead to stay and giving them the opportunity to play the Philadelphia Union on June 5th.
Yeah, you know, the Open Cup is a pretty unique tournament. It's one where every team in the country is involved in it at some point. And for teams like the Kickers and other teams in the USL and some of the lower division teams, it gives you a unique opportunity to get a chance to play with the big boys, so to say. So Richmond's always done a very good job in the Open Cup. We had some remarkable runs back in the days. I remember 2011 when we made it all the way to the semifinals, and we were the first lower division team to beat two MLS teams on the road back-to-back, beating Columbus 2-1 and then beating Kansas City 2-0. Actually, the first team to beat Kansas City in their new stadium. So it was pretty cool. It's always an exciting time. I know as a player you're always really excited when the Open Cup rolls around, and you just hope that you can do well and you can advance far enough to have an opportunity to play against some of these MLS teams.
Now we're going to see a small herd of subs for Richmond. They're going to use all three of their subs to start the second half. Luis Fernando has come on for Brian Shriver. Udai Imura is in the game replacing Brandon Eaton. So I think we're going to see Fernando up top replacing Cordovez. Shriver obviously is still out there. You just saw him. So Fernando's going to play up with Gonzalez on the right in the game for Eaton. And Udai Imura has also entered the contest for the Kickers.
And then it looks like Connor Shinosky came off and Braden Troyer slotted back to that center back position and took the captain's armband.
So Troyer will play in the back and take over as captain, and Udai Imura officially will replace Shinosky. Same 11 that ended the first half on the field for Charlotte as we are underway in the final 45. Johnson with the ball, Charlotte with the 2-0 lead. Imura gets his first touch. Here's Umar. Finds Fernando. Now Raul Gonzalez getting his first touch. Fernando the overlap. Here's Umar. Now Yearwood. His service in. Deflected wide by Fernando.
But right away, Fernando getting in a really dangerous spot in the box. Yearwood looked up, actually had a couple options in there to send the ball to. And it's a really good opportunity by Fernando, really good take, and unfortunately pushed it wide. But good signs by the Kickers.
Right start for the Kickers here in the second half as the rain has slackened. Just underway in the final 45. Gonzalez up to win that header. Osei-Wusu plays it back for Alex Lee. Lee probing forward. Lee Jung-soo got in the way of that. Vines. Nice ball for Ekra, but taken right back by Lee. Gonzalez. Now Williams. Braden Troyer. So now it's Lee, Williams, Troyer, and Yearwood, the back four. Imura in a holding midfield role with Umar. And then up front, Fernando, Shriver, and Osei-Wusu with Raul Gonzalez. Vines, Lee Jung-soo, Bilal Duckett, who was a 38th minute sub for Watson, who may have been nicked up, and Johnson, the back four for Charlotte. Here's Osei-Wusu. Now Umar. Troyer. Here's Yearwood. Osei-Wusu. Umar. Fernando's ball deflected away by Martinez. Much better possession early here. Kickers had only 37% possession in the opening 45. Gonzalez ball in, tipped away by Lee Jung-soo. Cato hounded by Yearwood.
And I would expect a lot of this half to be like this. Charlotte, as long as the score stays the same, I think Charlotte will kind of sit in. They don't need to expend too much energy or really take too many chances going forward. And as long as they sit in and keep the Kickers in front of them, it's really not going to bother them too much.
Martinez, Wasser Ekra, George remain the midfield in their 4-4-2 with Herrera and Cato up top. Dykstra in goal for Charlotte, and Travis Wara for Richmond. Here's Ekra for the Independents. Nice ball from Herrera for Vosser. Cato, a goal and an assist tonight. George. Charlotte's first real second half possession. Johnson rolling it back for Watson, now Vines. Herrera, Vines. Trying to lay it off, and it's picked off by Gonzalez. Brian Shriver. Oh, there's a giveaway, Ekra. Deflected by Williams. Then Yearwood able to clear. Johnson. Cato. Umar knocked that away, and Vosser keeps it alive. Zurich Grasshoppers amongst his pro stops. I'd like to meet the mascot. Johnson against Umar.
That would be a good fight. Kickaroo versus the Grasshopper.
I like Kickaroo in that one.
He did beat a crocodile.
That's impressive.
Did you see that?
I did not.
It was the Cleveland City Stars. Their mascot was a crocodile for some reason, and they actually got into a bit of a fisticuffs, we'll call it. Kickaroo came out victorious.
That's a good night of family entertainment there. Here's Udayamura. Kicker's trying to take advantage of a giveaway. Gonzalez gives it right back to Martinez. Vosser. Cato. Cato and Ekra, the goal scorers. Charlotte up 2-0. Martinez. Ekra. Johnson's service. Will be a deep Richmond throw. Want to get exclusive video content and photography from across the USL? Make sure to follow the league's official Instagram account at USL Soccer. Udayamura, who left the Open Cup tie Wednesday banged up, started forward. Now here's Osewusu probing for Fernando, and the 20-year-old Brazilian made the Charlotte center backs work for a living.
That's what Richmond needs to do, though. When they win the ball, they need to look for that quick counterattack. And it was a really good run there by Luis in behind, but dealt with really, really well.
Boy, Cato and Ekra have had some nice interplay tonight. And then Dykstra's, Wara's redistribution, taken right back. Here's Martinez. Now Herrera. Nice defending there from Troyer. And Umar starts the counter. Shriver got a touch. That was banged away by Lee Jung-soo. Headed forward by Gonzalez, but only as far as George. Ekra again. Herrera. Cato. Charlotte 2 first half goals in the 14th and 45th minute. Going after consecutive league win number 3. As they open a 4-match road trip tonight. Kickers in the middle of a 4-game homestand and hoping to pile up points. They'll need to do some work tonight. Martinez. George. Bilal Duckett, the late first half Charlotte sub. Richmond using all 3 of their subs at the interval, bringing Fernando Gonzalez and Imura into the game. Vosser has some space. Vosser has a go. And that was deflected for Charlotte's second corner of the match.
It's not a bad take there by Vosser. He knew he had some room in front of him and closed down well by the kickers, but ended up going out for a corner kick. But Voster's been pretty impressive in there. He likes to be kind of a key guy in there for their possession, lots of movement, constantly finding open spaces and playing simple balls.
Voster's service headed by Osewusu. Lee Jung-soo gets a piece. Voster for Martinez. That was blocked by Yearwood for a Charlotte throw. Vines, the 18-year-old from Colorado, with the restart. Independence, a Colorado Rapids affiliate. And they have several players on loan from the MLS side. Braden Troyer back to center back, one of the 3 positions he's started at this season. Probing for Fernando, but that'll wind up a deep Charlotte throw.
Yeah, Richmond and DC have a really good relationship with getting players on loan, but so do Charlotte and Colorado. And it seems like a better setup for Charlotte Independence, where they seem to get these players on season-long loan. So I know Andrew Dykstra and his family live in Charlotte. A couple of the other players are loaned down for the season and only called back in emergency situations.
Johnson heading that forward. Imura got a touch. George chips it away. Martinez racing with Lee. It's a Richmond throw. Lee, the Guam international, but a Maryland native. Played at the University of Maryland. Now Troyer. Williams. Umar for Imura. Kickers had a couple of players called up during the last international window. Williams and Lee amongst those. Yearwood. Osewusu. Kickers down 2-0 as we approach the hour mark. Alex Lee laid it off for Gonzalez. Imura trying to get on the end of that, but Duckett there to interrupt. Cato starts the counter, run off by Fernando. Oscar Umar. Headed away by Duckett. Cato creating a 50-50 ball. Williams up for the header. Cato and Osewusu battle. Now Yearwood. Charlotte getting their second sub of the match ready to go. It'll be Ayman Zaid. A former Libyan national team player who can score some goals. Here's Yearwood. Williams. Udai Imura. Behind Gonzalez. And on that note, I think we'll get the Zaid set up. Referee looking back to his 4th. And we will get the sub here. Zaid comes on. And he will replace George. Keep an eye on how they shape here, Ronnie, because Zaid played up top against Toronto last week. George has been in a midfield role tonight. So that probably forces somebody else to kind of reshape a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like they're just reshuffling a little bit. Going to get some more numbers behind the ball. They've been doing a very good job of getting numbers behind the ball when Richmond has possession, and they're making it really hard for the kickers to break them down.
Williams finding Umar. Troyer. Yearwood. 2 seasons with his hometown Independence after a college career at High Point. Now Williams, former Colorado Rapids man, looking for Gonzalez. Nice ball for Imura, back to Gonzalez. On a deflection by Shriver, gobbled up by Dykstra.
That was a really good look in there by Raul Gonzalez. Another great little diagonal run by Brian Shriver. Found the space in behind, timed it really, really well. Good movement there by Gonzalez and Imura. And just unfortunately slides right underneath Brian Shriver's foot. Would have been tough if he was able to control that anyway, to kind of turn and get a hit on target, but good signs by the kickers.
Cato galloping forward, interrupted by Troyer, but that's out for a Charlotte throw. Cato scored Charlotte's second goal. He assisted on the first. He'll allow Johnson the honors here on the throw-in. Vosser. Now Vines. May have been looking for Herrera there. Instead, it's a Richmond goal kick. Closing in on the hour mark. And Richmond down 2-0. Yearwood unable to subdue that ball. Ekra. Looks like maybe he's dropped back a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like Ekra, Cato, Vosser, and Vines are kind of making the 4 in the midfield. Herrera's kind of going in between them and the forward. Zaid, who kind of came in and went up top right away. So defensively, they're almost playing a 4-5-1, getting lots of numbers behind the ball.
Here's Johnson with a burst. His service deflected away by Williams. Cato for Vosser. Now Johnson. Ekra scored Charlotte's first goal tonight. Osewusu may have stepped on Herrera. Play continues. Cato against Imura. Now Johnson. Ekra. Back for Lee Jung-soo, now Vines. Martinez. And Vines sends it back to Lee Jung-soo. All the way back to Andrew Dykstra. Picked off by Umar. Now Shriver. Lays it off for Fernando, but the flag is up and Richmond offside. 62nd minute, 2-0 Charlotte. Independence going after their 3rd straight win in league and their first road win of the campaign. Kickers unbeaten in their last 5 here across all competitions. Troyer heads forward. Fernando got a piece of that, deflected away by Lee Jung-soo for a kicker's throw.
It's good pressure by Fernando and Shriver up top, but they're kind of doing it alone right now. We need the back 4 of Richmond to step up with them. Midfield to step up and support and try to get some numbers forward.
Here's Alex Lee. Raul Gonzalez. Now Umar. Troyer. Fernando. Now Umar. Yearwood. Alex Lee. Fernando. Duckett got in the way of that. Then Williams sends one goalward. Handled by Dykstra.
Charlotte's doing a great job of just making it really, really difficult for the kickers to break them down. They've got 9 guys behind the ball, all within 25, 30 yards of their goal, making really compact banks and making it really hard to get through.
Cato deflected out by Yearwood. It's a throw for the Independents. First of 3 meetings between these two teams. The Kickers scoreless in their last 5 against Charlotte over 2 years. Last win was 2015. Cato. Service in. Williams got a piece. Yearwood clears, but only as far as Duckett. Now Ekra. Johnson. Troyer battling with Herrera. Ekra. Now Johnson. Herrera fouled by Williams.
It's a strong tackle there by Williams. I think Herrera, being the veteran player that he is, made a little bit more of it than he needed to. Referee did a good job of not showing a card. It looked like he was going to, but he didn't. But Herrera knew that the pressure was coming, felt him, and made more of it than he needed to. But now they've got a free kick in a really dangerous spot, especially with Herrera. I'd expect him to hit this one.
Herrera is Charlotte's leading goal scorer this season. Mora right there.
A comfortable save by Wara there. Good footwork to get over. Herrera, good free kick. Got it over the wall. Don't think he hit it with the pace that he was hoping for. Ended up being a pretty comfortable catch for Travis.
Johnson got ahead to that, but recovered by Shriver for Imura. Now Umar had to play it back for Troyer. Kickers trying to find some space. Umar for Osewusu. George Washington University product. One of 2 Marylanders on the field right now for Richmond. Now Troyer. Udai Imura back for Troyer. Fernando unable to get a clean touch there. 2 first-half goals for Charlotte. Now in the 67th minute, Independence trying to see it through for their first road win of the campaign. Herrera back for Johnson. Now Vines. The 18-year-old on a team of veterans. Troyer got a piece of that. Ekra recovers. Yearwood a chance to clear. And Duckett sees that out for a Charlotte throw. Well, Duckett played collegiately at Notre Dame, later drafted by the Vancouver Whitecaps. Made 5 appearances in Major League Soccer. Played some with the Sacramento Republic. USL side that probably isn't going to have a real happy day in the office Tuesday. That's a Richmond throw.
Yeah, things are looking good for FC Cincinnati. Their fan base has been incredible. And all signs are pointing to them getting an MLS franchise.
They have a press conference Tuesday. It is widely expected that they will announce they are promoting themselves. They'll be in the league next year.
According to them, they've been an MLS team for 2 years now anyway, so it's fitting, though. The franchise has worked really hard. Attendance has been phenomenal. They're really growing something special in that city, which is good to see.
Sacramento did a lot of the same things and did most of them first, but didn't put the ownership group together, apparently, that Cincinnati offers. Troyer with the volley clearance. Duckett with the header for Vosser. And a foul there on Fernando. And it ran up Johnson a little bit. So as we approach 70 minutes in, still 2-0 Charlotte. And they continue to enjoy the preponderance of possession. Duckett. Broken up by Umar. And Umar scrapping with Vosser, and it all goes Charlotte's way. Visit the USL's Instagram story every Monday evening to watch Kelsey Steele's hat trick as she breaks down 3 key talking points from the previous week's action.
Just looking at the body language of the two teams, Charlotte looks really composed. They look like they're completely in control of the game, which they are. Conversely, Richmond, you think a team that's down 2-0 would have some energy, some buzz, trying to get after the ball, trying to defend together, push forward together, and there's really none of that going on. They've got Shriver and Fernando who are working pretty hard up top, but really no one in behind them supporting it. No one really out there communicating on the team. Every now and then you hear a couple shouts, but nothing too significant. I think they need someone to kind of step up and be that vocal leader right now to try to urge them on.
Lee Jung-soo plays wide for Vines. Gonzalez got a piece of that. Imura for Fernando, now Shriver. Shriver trying to find space. Now it's Alex Lee. Udai Imura. Gonzalez. Vines with the block of the service. Gonzalez recovering possession. Now Lee. Gonzalez. Deflected away by Lee Jung-soo, and Ekra started to clear. Umar recovers. Gonzalez. 72nd minute. Kickers have gone 5 games and 72 minutes without a goal against Charlotte. Going back to 2016, Duckett unable to get a clean touch, and the Kickers do get a corner here. Charlotte rolled to an easy win in their last victory here.
Yeah, I think they might put this in the same category.
Service in. A little too high for Umars. That wound up off the Independence on the Shriver corner. And Richmond gets another crack at it. This time Gonzalez. Headed clear by Herrera. Gonzalez keeps it in play. That evaded everybody until Andrew Dykstra was able to subdue it.
First corner was a pretty good ball in, dealt with really well by the Independents.
Lee up for the header. Now Williams. Kobe Osewusu. Yearwood unable to handle it cleanly. Charlotte throw forthcoming. Now in the 74th minute. Independence a pair of first half goals. Ekra from Cato, then Cato from Ekra. The Cato goal coming in the final minute of the regulation 45 in the first half. Here's a takeaway for Williams. And Williams and Johnson have contact. It'll be a Charlotte restart. Bosser plays it back for Lee Jung-soo. Now Ekra. Probing for Martinez. Lee got in the way. Williams. Picked off by Vosser. Cato back for Vosser. Now Cato. Vines. Nice move from Ekra. Herrera.
That right there is a perfect example, though. Ekra was surrounded by 3 kickers. Turns around, no one touches him, and lets him just get past him.
Martinez finally stood up, and Troyer sends it the other way for Luis Fernando. And Fernando wins a throw. Charlotte still has one change they can make. Kickers used all 3 of their subs at halftime. Lee Cowlishaw no doubt trying to light a fire under his club. Kickers back here next Saturday night, but no easy task. A very good Pittsburgh Riverhounds team comes to town. Charlotte on the road again next week. Here's Umar. Lays it off for Yearwood. Serves it in. Vines got a piece of that. And Vosser controls. Williams recovers. Yearwood. Broken up by Martinez. Johnson for Ekra. He gallops forward. Cato, little burst of speed. Here's Cato. He has a go and puts Richmond to the sword.
It's a really good goal there by Cato. Great run. I think as soon as he got the ball, he knew exactly what he wanted to do. He was trying to cut inside and pick out that far corner, which he did really well.
It's his 2nd of the game and 5th of the year. San Jose Earthquake last season, previously Seattle Sounders. Over 100 MLS appearances.
That's really well done. I think Alex Lee can close him down a little bit closer, especially as he takes that touch into the box. Get a little bit closer to him, make it a little bit more difficult, but really well taken by Cato. That's a good goal.
So Cato a brace, and Charlotte's road scoring slump has been put to rest. Ekra gets another assist. Those two seem to have some chemistry. Charlotte started a different lineup in every game this season, and they've found several combinations that can score goals. Probing ball here for Imura. Dykstra will see that out for a goal kick.
They've been very impressive tonight. They've been composed. Their possession is really good. They're dynamic at the right times. I think part of it is Richmond has made it a little bit easier for them with the way that they've come out, whether it's the midweek game or whatnot. But it's been a good performance by Charlotte. I think Coach Jeffries is going to be pretty excited and happy with his team, and all the guys are going to be excited to get the first road win and score some goals and hopefully try to build from it.
Zaid's had kind of a quiet appearance. He got a touch right there, but Umar plays it forward looking for Schreiber. Dykstra off his line to maintain order. '78th minute. Tonight, It's all the visitors. Kicker's trying to salve the wound a bit here. Yearwood plays in! And the diving header by Shriver winds up a goal kick. That's been the night pretty much in a nutshell. Charlotte, by the way, mentioned the ambition of their club. They have opened a bar and restaurant, Jack's House in Charlotte. They're having a watch party tonight. A shout out to the folks in Charlotte at Jack's House watching this one.
That's great. You're starting to see that more and more often here in the USL, and fan clubs sprouting up left and right. I know the River City Red Army, they're not only planning on going up to Philly for the Open Cup game, the ones that can and the ones that aren't. I'm sure they'll have a watch party somewhere, as they do with all the away games. So the fan support within all the clubs of the USL has been fantastic, and it's just growing and just building the strength of the league.
Kickers built their own bar at City Stadium this year. Behind the goal to our left, the one the Kickers are defending here. It's fairly well attended tonight. Lee Kalishaw, I'd like to join him right now. Here's Imura. Now Gonzalez. His service in, denied by Vines. Alex Lee. Looking back post for Osei-Wusu. Shriver! And the Kickers get one back. Ryan Shriver on the volley.
Glimmer of hope for the Kickers here. A little bit of life, but that ball, it was a great ball in there by Alex Lee. The first one by Raul Gonzalez. Didn't quite beat the first guy. They were able to keep possession. Alex Lee served a great ball in. Kept alive well on the far post by Osei-Wusu and fell to probably the one guy you'd want it to fall to if you're a Richmond Kickers fan. Brian Shriver, left-footed volley, made no mistake with it.
It is his third goal of the year. And suddenly there's a heartbeat in red. Still, as the old country song says, long way to go, short time to get there. 81st minute. But a little bit of life, and the Kickers can, nothing else, try to maybe build on that for Pittsburgh next week. Here's Alex Lee. They've only been shut out once this year. That's a huge upgrade over what happened last season. Imura for Umar, battling with Vosser. Lays it back for Troyer. Braden Troyer trying to find space. It's been at a premium here in the second half. Here's Lee. Gonzalez. Imura. And Gonzalez unable to get on the end of that. Goal kick Charlotte.
It's a good idea. The execution wasn't great, but good idea. And there's a little bit of life to the Kickers now. You see a little bit more movement off the ball, moving the ball a little bit quicker. Some better runs in behind. Could make for an exciting 10 minutes.
Well, they could pull one more back, and all of a sudden you've got a complete psychological reversal. Williams up for the header. Vines volleys it for Herrera. Williams there to keep that from turning into a jailbreak. Vosser. Ekra. Johnson. If you're wondering about the Jacks place, by the way, the unofficial nickname of the club is the Jacks, and it's for Captain Jack, who is on the club crest, Revolutionary War figure. Here's Yudai Imura. Kobe Osei-Wusu with advantage played. Osei-Wusu has a go!
Not a bad idea by Osei-Wusu. I think Dykstra will tell you he had that one covered. dove just to make sure, but it looks like he had that plenty covered. But not a bad idea by Osawusu. I like the fact that he's looking to get forward, looking to take a shot. You never know if you don't shoot.
Williams in a bit of a tussle there with Zaid, who drew a foul. Zaid, a guy who's been remarkably productive over a 17-year pro career. He scored 204 goals.
Wow.
Most of those in the Irish Republic First Division. As he closes in on 400 career games played. Nice job there by Williams. Now Troyer, as the kickers looking to build a counter as time grows ever shorter. Oscar Umar scored Richmond's first goal this season. Yearwood unable to get on the end of that. Cowshaw unhappy that Charlotte kind of dallied getting the game restarted. You got to spend a Sunday afternoon watching Univision and the Liga MX. Those guys can waste some time. Here's Troyer. Broken up by Lee Jung-soo. Fernando trying to recover. Martinez stepped into that. Ekra. Lays it off for Cato for Johnson. Now Ekra. Ekra and Cato have been involved in all three Charlotte goals. Vosser galloping forward. Herrera for Johnson. Charlotte here would be perfectly happy to rag the thing around for about 5 more minutes and start loading up the bus.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be in any rush to do much of anything right now except for keep the ball, make Richmond chase. You've got the Red Army in the corner trying to urge on the kickers like they always do.
The veteran Lee Jung-soo plays forward. Found Johnson. Now Vosser as Charlotte continues to enjoy extended possession. Matt Williams stepped in front of that one. Osawusu in traffic. And it's a Richmond throw. Closing in on the 87th minute now, and the kickers need 2 to scrape a point out of this. Travis Wara for Yearwood. Osawusu, little room. And then he drew a foul. Kickers wanted to play on, but Mr. Damianchuk has a different idea. Now Braden Troyer is
Osawusu does a good job of drawing a foul right there. That would have been a good spot for the kickers to set up a free kick, get some big boys in the box, and try to put it in a dangerous spot and cause them to do something.
Well, now they get another crack at it. And Brian Shriver rushes over to take this one.
See if they could set something up here, get some bodies in the box. You never know what can happen if you put it in there.
88th minute. Kickers desperately chasing this one, down 3-1. Shriver will hit it. Plays for Lee. His service headed, then touched by Cato. Imura trying to win it back. That's well done by Lee Jung-soo, and Johnson clears past midfield. Cato for Vosser, who went down under the Umar challenge. Play continues. Gonzalez, a nifty touch, but he laid it off to nobody, and Bilal Duckett clears. Now Imura off the Brayton Troyer header. Gonzalez. Luis Fernando. Gonzalez. Charlotte only able to clear as far as Fernando. And Fernando looking for Schreiber. Schross, kids call it these days.
That would be, yeah, I think that one he was definitely trying to curl it back into the far post. Good take again. You know you're going to miss 100% of the shots you don't take, but I like the aggressiveness by Fernando. Has it on his favored left foot. Might as well give it a go. Just didn't quite get the bend out of it he wanted. But there were some people open in the box. Maybe stick it in a dangerous position in front of goal. You never know what'll happen.
Charlotte about to make their final change of the night. They're going to bring Ricardo Perez on. And he will replace Vosser. Perez, a native of Mexico, but played college soccer at Creighton. And he is Colorado Rapids property. He comes on in the 90th minute. By the way, the good sub board is out of order now. Had to bring back the non-electric one. Lee Jung-soo won that header. And a solid turn from Ekra. Lays it off for Herrera. Out to Cato. We're in stoppage time, or almost stoppage time. 20 seconds waiting for the fourth official to tell us how much. Ekra. Martinez. Back for Vines. And now Ekra. We have 3 minutes of added time here. Ekra for Herrera. Had contact with Umar, still played it across. And Williams, a subtle touch for Lee there. Osewusu draws a foul. So we are in the first of 3 minutes of added time with Richmond trailing 3-1. Wara for Gonzalez. Martinez got a piece, but Fernando controls. Luis Fernando lays it off for Brian Shriver. Now Gonzalez. Lee, back post service, headed away by Duckett. Fernando trying to win it back in a spirited scrap with Cato, who comes up with possession. Now Herrera. Williams way up to battle. Yearwood for Fernando, who had contact and draws a foul from Johnson. A little under 2 minutes remaining of the 3. And Johnson picks up the first caution of the game. We're starting to wonder if Mr. Damianchuk brought his cards tonight.
Yeah, he's definitely been pretty conservative with them. A couple opportunities early on, he could have brought one out, and he decided to keep him in his pocket, but he's been consistent with it.
Johnson gets the caution in extra time. Raul Gonzalez will strike it here.
Although he does love using his spray.
Shriver wins a quarter as he headed it off Ekra. But time dwindling in the final minute of the extra 3. Shriver will take the corner. Service was headed by Umar, dug out by Yearwood. And that will be a goal kick.
Yeah, it was a good ball in there by Brian Shriver. Lots of bodies in the box, and you have Umar battling for it, and it falls to Yearwood, and he just mishits it on his non-favored right foot.
And that will likely be that. dying embers of extra time as Dykstra puts it back in play. And we are done. Charlotte Independence earns 3 points on the road tonight with a 3-1 win over the Richmond Kickers. 2 first-half goals left Richmond chasing the game, and the Kickers 3 subs at the interval. Not enough to reverse fortune. Cato scores 2. Ekra scores 1. Cato had a couple of assists. Turns into a big night for Charlotte. Richmond missing a chance to go to 500. And we'll recap it next on ESPN+.
Don't miss out. It's the final days of Nissan Now. Hurry in for big savings on Rogue, America's best-selling SUV, and our entire lineup. Event ends April 2nd. Get 0% for up to 72 months on 13 models.
Make time to escape to the coast and enjoy 60 miles of beautiful beaches and let the sound of the ocean's tide take you to your happy place. Now's the perfect time to book your spring getaway to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Besides, you deserve it. Seize your moment now and come, let go, and unwind on Myrtle Beach Time.
Let go and unwind on Myrtle Beach Time.
Don't miss out. It's the final days of Nissan Now. Hurry in for big savings on Rogue, America's best-selling SUV, and our entire lineup. Event ends April 2nd. Get 0% for up to 72 months on 13 models.
She works as a meteorologist at CBS 6, but Nikki D. Ray does all kinds of jobs. Roll call.
I'm Nikki D, the construction worker. I'm Nikki D, the insurance agent. I'm Nikki D, the doctor. I'm Nikki D, the fast food cook. I'm Nikki D, the referee. I'm Nikki D, the teacher. I'm Nikki D, the beekeeper. I'm Nikki D, the race car driver.
Nikki D, Can You Be Me? On CBS 6 this morning.
Back at City Stadium, John Emmett along with Ronnie Pascal. Tonight, the Red Army will go home a shade dissatisfied as the home 11 comes up short. Charlotte Independence with a 3-1 win, and the Independents improving now to 5-3-2 on the season while picking up their first road win of the year. Kickers' a run of 5 straight without a loss at home comes to an end, and it was Ekra early in the first half off a feed from Cato, putting Charlotte, as it turns out, ahead to stay.
Yeah, Cato got in a lot of dangerous positions all night for the Charlotte Independents, and here's another opportunity where he outruns Williams on a counterattack and plays a great ball across to Ekra, who has really the easy part of just finishing it past Travis Wara.
Then the Kickers really gave up a damaging goal in the dying embers of the first half as Cato runs onto the end of the service on a platter from Ekra.
Yeah, kind of reversal of fortunes right there. Ekra decided to return the favor. But there was a great build-up before that kind of summed up the first half where it was a run of possession by the Independents. They passed the ball numerous times. They were really patient, waited for things to open up. Jorge Herrera, like he's done millions of times before, has a great ball in behind the defense, and they finish it.
Kickers thought they'd pulled one back. Cordovez on the rebound of the Dykstra save, but it was ruled to have gone in off his left arm.
Yeah, it was another opportunity by Brian Shriver getting in a dangerous spot and playing the ball across. He knew exactly what he wanted to do and found Cordovez. And Cordovez did a good job of getting the first shot on target, and Dykstra made a really good save, and unfortunately it bounced back and hit him in the hand.
Second half, Kickers made 3 subs right at the break trying to find some energy, but didn't take long for Cato to pick up his second of the night, and that really put Richmond to the sword.
Yeah, you're seeing more and more of these goals where a right-footed player gets the ball on the left side and cuts inside. And maybe Alex Lee could have been a little bit closer to him to make it a little bit more difficult, but at the end of the day, it's a great finish by Cato. Cato had a really, really good night for the Independents tonight.
Now tied for the club lead with Jorge Herrera, 5 goals apiece. Richmond did pull one back late. Brian Schreiber on the volley.
Yeah, they kept plugging away and they kept fighting, which was good. Maybe it could have been a little bit better, but a dangerous ball in the box falls to Schreiber's left foot, and he finishes it pretty emphatically. A little bit too not enough, not much time left, but the Kickers did give it a bit of an effort at the end. Maybe they were a little bit tired from the Open Cup game Wednesday night. That game they went up to a 2-0 lead, and maybe it became a little bit more difficult of a game and drained them a little bit more than they thought. With that being said, they're still professionals. They need to come out, and they really need to put the effort in.
So now they'll have to regroup with the Pittsburgh Riverhounds invading City Stadium next Saturday before the Kickers travel to the Philadelphia Union for their U.S. Open Cup tie on the 5th of June. Meanwhile, Charlotte will be on their way to Canada as they will take on Ottawa on the road next weekend in the second of 4 straight away from home. For Mike Voyak and our crew here at City Stadium, John Emmett with Ronnie Pascal, we appreciate you joining us tonight on ESPN+. Again, our final, Charlotte Independence 3, Richmond Kickers 1. Good night from Richmond, Virginia.